Check out the website jfresh.co.uk.
What's good, people? It's your boy J Fresh right here. One of the hottest UK artists out here right now, aka the missing member of Jagged Edge. My Donny Koder, welcome, brother.
How you doing, brother?
I'm glad you found it, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, man.
You know, I mean, I hear sometimes like broccoli could be a bit crazy. Sometimes even going to the shops turns into a big trip.
Yeah, it does definitely. Like, I wake up, I go to the shop, and it's like you're seeing everyone. Just on the way to the shop, you're seeing everyone, and it's, oh, Cody, you're doing so well in the music, and it's just like
fans
thank you,
everywhere.
You're just trying to go to the shop to get some milk so you can have your cereal. But it's like remembering that you're another person as well, because obviously everyone knows me as Nico, but the switch up between Nico and Koder when going to the shop to just get some milk, it's just like
you have to switch it depending if someone stops you.
Yeah, it's like yesterday I went out at night. I was just dropping my friend to the train station.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden a car pulls up. Wow, go on, Koder. And then I'm walking down the street, someone stops me talking about my music, and then I go into the chip shop, and then the chip shop guys are like, how you doing? So it's just like, it's a bit of a shock because it's my area that I've always grown up in, innit? So it took a bit of time to adjust to. It still takes time to adjust to.
But you appreciate the love, but
I love the love.
But let man have his fish and chips quietly. It's important.
I love the love, man. It's all good, man.
Exactly. Now, you dropped an EP recently.
Yeah, Naked EP.
Naked EP, the debut EP. Something
EP.
you were really hungry to put out there.
100% hungry for that. Like,
talk to me about the record, man.
It basically came about with me making a song called Niece, which is about my niece, and I was trying to record the song Do You, which is on the EP as well, and then my niece kept coming into the studio, and then she came in one time and she was like, can't you make a song about me? So then
modest,
I was just like, do you know what? I sat her on my lap and I put the mic on record, and I just freestyled the whole thing. So I didn't like write none of it. I just found the beat, freestyled the whole thing, and then bits where she actually chops in and talks over me, that's her actually chopping me while I'm rapping, like, and I just pull out and let her do her thing. So I feel like the honesty in that gave birth to the whole Naked EP, because from I released that, people was wanting to hear more of that side of me, you know, because it was very like, I released a mixtape called The Calm, which was like the exterior, and Naked was like the interior of me, so people was more wanting to hear the interior. So yeah, from Nice it just gave birth to the whole Naked EP.
And that particular record, I love the fact at the very, very end, she's asking you a few questions. Are you famous? Yeah. That kind of stuff. And then you ask her if she likes your video.
Yeah, she goes, no.
And what did she say? She goes, no. Tune ends. EP done. Let's go home.
I wanted to keep that in though, you know, because it was genuine.
Yeah, it's real, man. No, I love that angle. Yeah. With the EP itself, at the moment, you cannot buy it. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can't.
It's just for streaming. Yeah, it's just
for
SoundCloud.
Streaming purposes. Yeah.
So at the moment, why can't people get hold of it?
I wanted people to check out my SoundCloud a lot more. I wanted them to get used to having to go on my SoundCloud to listen to my music, because in the months coming, I want to be able to put up a freestyle and people will be used to going on there and seeing it. So I felt like what would be the most effective way to do that? If I just put it out for download, people are just going to download it and not come back to the SoundCloud. So they're not necessarily going to know when I've dropped something else on there. So I just wanted to build more anticipation around the SoundCloud, but I will put it up for download eventually. Eventually.
When the numbers are there.
When the numbers are there, I'll put it up for download.
And for those who obviously do want to listen to the EP, soundcloud.com, official Koder.
Official Koder, yeah.
That's what I hit it up. I've got a quote actually about the EP. I want to read it out to you.
Okay.
Make sure I read it out correctly. Quote, an earnest effort encapsulating inner perspective and melodic versatility.
Wow.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I got to. Yeah, I agree with it.
It's a real positive, man. Now, as long with the EP, you also had the launch party.
Yeah, that was
as well,
that
which
was
I believe there was mad positive feedback.
People
Mobo tweeting, showing the love.
Yeah, that was it was my first show, which was like a launch, like based around the release. So it was a new experience to me, and I'll explain you the setup of it. I had a band first, and then the band pulled out last minute. I wasn't going to use a band. So it was like someone showing you paradise and then closing the door, you know? So then I literally pulled on all the strings I could that day, got a band, and we rehearsed 5 hours every day for that week.
So the week to put it together.
Literally, we had a week to pull it together. So I'm just extremely proud of the band for doing that and pulling it together. And it was an amazing show, you know. People came and they supported. And the thing I'm most excited about is the fact that people was welcoming the change, because there has been a change. I'm not going to pretend there hasn't been a change in the way I do my thing now, but people was welcoming to it, and they wasn't like, oh, you're not going to perform Avenger or anything from the Calm or any of the grime stuff. It was just, you've come to see the Naked EP show, and that's what you've got, and you appreciated it, you know, and that's what I was excited about. And I was more excited the fact that no one had to ask me about any other things any other records I've made, because they were so interested in what was going
the
on,
new project,
that they didn't even think, oh, he didn't perform anything from the last one, or he hasn't done a grime set. You know, because back in the days, I'd always do a bit at the end when me and the DJ just do grime and like just spit all my favourite bars, and everyone will go crazy. So
play all the classic rhythms.
Play the Eskimos and everything, and then everyone goes crazy. So yeah, it took adjusting for me as well, because I'm used to doing that. Is
that just a conscious change, or is it just part of your development as an artist, and there's different sides to you?
Yeah, there's different sides to me. It was something which, as I said, from Nice came around. That's when the whole change came around. But it was going to come eventually, because I started to feel like I wanted to expand my sound a bit more, you know, and it just happened naturally.
That's just natural, though. No one, no matter how strong your product may be, or your particular angle, you always want to see signs of versatility.
100%.
And as an individual, you grow. As a musician, you grow. So, you know, people got to be open-minded.
100%, and also, being in the grime scene and so heavily involved in the grime scene, like coming doing Lord of the Mics and my name's in Jammer's Basement, you know, so I've been involved in the grime scene. I'm still involved in the grime scene, but I felt like I love what Novelist is doing, I love what Stormzy's doing, but if everyone does Novelist and if everyone does Stormzy and if everyone does Skepta, then we're not going to have a scene that's diverse. So I felt, do you know what, I have to be the one to do something different, because as I said, Nov's doing something different, Stormzy is, and Skepta. So I just wanted to add my element. I just wanted to have my say, to people to be like, okay, I want to listen to what Koder's doing as well, you know, and it's something diverse, kind of what Andre 3000 done for hip hop. He brought a whole different energy and a whole different element to hip hop, and even though he hasn't given us that one solo project that we're all waiting for,
that we're all waiting for forever,
it's still been he's still given us some beautiful moments in hip hop, and he dresses completely different, and
he does him.
But he's still part of hip hop, and that's what I want to be to my culture, you know.
I mean, you mentioned some of the heavyweights of the scene there now. Obviously, Skepta I think he's still in America doing shows and doing bits and pieces. But one thing that's interesting is now a lot of the UK artists, they are doing the O2s. They're doing O2 shows themselves, selling it out, doing little mini tours and stuff like this. And you yourself got an O2 situation on the horizon as well. So is that now the benchmark? Is that now like, if you get to that point, that's a good level to reach, and then you kick on and you look for the next project or the next goal to work towards?
I think it's about ownership, innit? That's the most.
We've had this conversation with a lot of people, but I love it. Now carry on. In your words,
it's about ownership. It's about being able to be daring enough to look at the O2 and say, I'm gonna put on a show there, you know. And it's something that takes courage. It definitely does take courage, because you've got to say, okay, well, this is something a label would normally do, or this is something I have to have sold X amount of records to be able to do. But you've got someone like Stormzy who's coming and selling out the O2 and selling out all these other places, and it just gives other people who are independent courage as well, and shows them why ownership is so important. It's so important to own your stuff and stand by it, you know. And anything you're doing creatively, you have to stand by it. If you don't stand by it, I can't believe in it, and no one else is going to believe in it. If people do believe in it, they're not going to believe in it forever, you know. So I feel like it's about, when life gets scary, that's when you jump. That's what I say. Exactly when it gets scary, that's when you jump. I've jumped off of the highest bridge in New Zealand. I live off adrenaline, you know what I'm saying? So
let's give it a go.
I've got to apply it to my music career as well. Man.
Now, obviously you mentioned there about the grime and some of the origins of you. I'm not going to ask you about the Wiley line in your record.
Yeah.
Because I know you've been asked it about 800 times.
It's cool.
But I know what you mean by it, so it's
Yeah.
all good. We know that.
Wiley followed me on
It's
Twitter
all
and he
love,
tweeted me. It's all love,
You
man.
do your thing, and then when you get to a certain point, people have always got an eye on what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then the phone rings.
Big up
then the
Wiley.
tweet comes. You know what I mean? We know what that means. We know what that means. Now, a little bit earlier when you spoke about, going to get the milk for your Rice Krispies and being stopped by fans.
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Pops,
Yeah.
my bad. In love with the cocoa. Now, what's it like when people want you to sign their CD? It's a new
Wow.
experience.
It's a new experience. It's overwhelming because the girl that actually asked me to sign her CD, if I remember rightly, one was from Brighton and the other one was from Margate. Now they are two places which are way out from where I live. So knowing they came all the way there, and plus they wanted a CD signing, it kind of was a nice reminder that I'm on the right path and I'm doing the right thing, because sometimes, I'll be honest, it does get depressing sometimes. You're making music, you're sitting by your Mac, and sometimes it felt like no one was listening. But when you put on a show and you pack it out and people are coming from all over the place, it's a nice reminder that you're doing the right thing. So yeah, I want it to happen more. I'm addicted.
I'm sure it will do, man. Like I said, the EP that you put out, to me, for a few years now, the production levels and what's required of even a mixtape has gone higher now. There's major label artists putting out what they call mixtapes, and we're like, nah, Drake, that's an album. But
Yeah, it's an album.
It's a mixtape.
Yeah.
So the levels are high, the production levels are high. So you just got to keep on doing that, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
I heard your music. My boy Jimmy put the music through to me, and I was like, rah, I like the sound.
Nice.
I already know what you're about from before.
Yeah.
We need to get behind this. We need to catch up in the
Respect,
studio, fam.
bro, man. Respect, man.
It's all good. One final question for you, and a real serious question. You mentioned there's some female fans coming from Brighton, coming from Margate, wanting that CD signed. What kind of reaction do you think your mother would give if you brought back a girl from a rave and she was in some kind of half outfit, half on, half off? She might be pretty, but what would Mumsy say?
Mumsy would be cool. She would ask me a lot of questions in the morning though. Like she would let her come in and let us chill,
Chill, yeah.
Snuck a few girls past the sitting room before Mumsy's come out, see me with a bottle of wine, like, But she's been cool.
That's my boy.
The questions come in the morning.
Okay, what kind of questions are normally put to you?
She'll be like,
if it's kind of questionable
She'd be like,
attire.
what kind of thing did you have walking in my house at them ungodly hours?
Oof.
That's what she would say, and I'd be like, Mum, this lifestyle, Mum, it's just taken over me.
It's just a musical connection we're here. We're discussing lyrics.
She's a singer, Mum.
You're dropping major lyrics on her. I like
She's
that.
a singer, Mum. How many singers are you bringing to the house? Mum, she's a singer. I've got to have collaborations and features with different artists. I'm not going to use the same singer every day, Mum.
I'm just expanding my sound. That's all I'm doing, Mumsy.
She likes to dress interesting, Mum. She's quirky.
Exactly. She's out there.
She's out there.
Now listen, it's been great to catch up, brother.
Thank you, man.
Good luck with the show and
Thank you, bro.
with the project, the EP, when it does finally come out to buy. I'll be
Yeah.
buying it. I want a hard copy CD and I want it signed as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We
I'll
do
get
that.
that over to you. I think we've got some delivered today, so
Oh, wicked.
yeah, so I'm going to get one over to you 100%, brother.
Check out the website jfresh.co.uk.